I am starting out today. Actually, I started out, I had to take care of something else administratively on the Gig Geezer side of the cash game. But I am starting out today with a big based opportunity, more than like one pallet. And the loaded mile distance is about 45 miles. I'm rounding up. Usually it's like 42. After that, later this afternoon, I've got what I believe is an easy fucking money opportunity that I'm supposed to go airport pickup, and it's like it's going to be a round trip deal where I'll go there, bring it back to the Columbia, South Carolina, Michigan area. And this leads into what I am going to be talking about in terms of your cash flow strategy and operating or spread last cargo and business. It really doesn't matter what type of, mainly in delivery and transport, but this could still apply with any other form of business. And by the way, if this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, or if you're a returning visitor to the Gig Geezer, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely want the comments in the section below. I am going to also mention while I'm at it, my weekly live stream Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm speaking this week, Wednesday, April 23rd, 2023. I will be speaking with someone who's known as the Ramrican. Ramrican is a hustling dude from up north. I believe he's from New Jersey, but he does work in New Jersey and in New York City specifically. And Ramrican, I sent an invite to him, and bam, he's like, yeah, man, I want to do it. And hell, he even sent me a Google reminder about it, just to confirm things. And so him doing that, I'm going to start doing that as well as with folk that agreed to appear on my future I'm Speaking live streams. I will be sending them Google reminders as well. So anyway, cash flow. I've talked about this on a couple of occasions so far this year. And cash flow is a very important thing because you don't want to be caught in a situation where you don't have enough money to do what you need to do. And I basically found myself in that situation yesterday. It's not that well, you could say I was broke. The money was made, the money's there, but the money's tied up in some other shit. And so what you have to do sometimes is create some cash flow type situations. And how you do that cash flow type situation is going to be unique to yourself, and the extent of the cash flow that you create is also going to be unique to yourself. Now, last Friday, April 18, 2023, I noticed that I was low on cash that I would need to possibly put together a low board base opportunity for early Saturday morning. In fact, as it turned out, I had 2 runs set up. And what I did was, I called it in this segment of the Gig Geezer, I called it Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday. On that day, I did 3 local opportunities. And one was gig food, one set was gig food delivery. And then the other 2 were last mile gig delivery opportunities. And that created some cash flow for me over the weekend. Well, at least 2 of them that created cash flow for me over the weekend, which is what I needed. And then one of them actually appeared in my account this morning, which kind of helped towards some cash flow. At least try to straighten out what I'm about to describe from yesterday and then today. Yesterday, I hit really a grand slam in terms of business operation and the way the money came in. Now, again, I'm setting this up so that you can understand what I'm coming from. Yesterday, well, I've often said that my business operation is based on these components: gig food delivery, last mile gig delivery, brokered load / expedited / low board based opportunities, and then cash gain. I hit them all yesterday. I had a gig food delivery opportunity in which I'll see that money hit my account today. Then I had a low board based opportunity. That is money earned, but I won't see that money until next week. As was the gig app last mile gig delivery opportunity. Money earned, but I won't see that until more than likely beginning of next week. And then cash gain. My cash game opportunities tend to, the way the agreement is with one particular customer that I've been dealing with, I usually see that money on the Friday. So we're talking at the end of the week. So where was then the cash flow created? Now, I entered into yesterday knowing that I had some stuff coming out of one of my checking accounts. And that all hit my account yesterday, but then I had to cover the amount before midnight last night. And so, fortunately, I had money in another account that I was able eventually to put money into that account. But then I got stuff coming out of that account, the money that I used to put that account back to positive and clear out what was showing as, at the time, negative. No, nothing bounced or anything like that. Like I said, it shows negative, and you got until the end of the day, like literally up until almost midnight, to put money in the account to clear it out, because it's a business account. That's just the way it's set up. If that had been a personal account, it probably would have, I would have bank charges. But anyway, so now with the account that I use as like where I put money back and all, it's a workhorse account. Now there's money tied up, but the money that I earned yesterday from the gig food delivery opportunity will be used to cover that amount that's still out there. And then I also have some cash or another account that I'll be pulling to cover that. But that's the cash that has been basically set aside. Today, I have a broker-based opportunity, and I'm on a last mile gig delivery opportunity. Last mile gig delivery opportunity, money earned will be hitting my account beginning of next week. The low board based opportunity will hit my account like Thursday morning. Now, that's a lot of explanation and all, but when it's a one-man operation, there's a lot of juggling that you do in managing your money. At least that's been my experience. Maybe you don't have to worry about that. Maybe you got somebody that you allow to deal with that headache. But if you're like me, everything is on you. Everything. I mean, like with this video, I'll be the one editing this video. I'll be the one that creates the thumbnail. I'll be the one that creates the graphics that shows up in the video and all. I'll be, I'm already thinking ahead, 5 moves ahead, 10 moves ahead as to what I want to say and how I want to present it in video form. And then from a business standpoint, I'm constantly thinking at a minimum, at most immediately 2 weeks ahead to make sure that things are covered, and then kind of anticipating what I need to do from a business standpoint in terms of earnings opportunities. So this is where the cash flow strategy comes into play. Now, I've talked for nearly 10 minutes, and I'll give you the line again. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. So here's a couple of nuggets with cash flow. Now, I mentioned one of them again in this segment of the Gig Geezer. I use the gig food delivery app opportunities as cash flow that I know I will see either that day or the next business day. The last mile gig delivery opportunities, the last mile gig app delivery opportunities, depending on the app, that's money I'm going to see the next business day. Depending on what it is, it could be that same day if it's completed before noon that day. and that means that I'll see that money later that afternoon. But in most cases, I'm thinking that I will see that money the next business day. There is one where I won't see the money until the following week, more than likely. There's a couple of them where I won't see the money until the following week. But then there are some that I will see the next business day, and then some that I'll see a few days later, probably like about 3 to 5 business days later, and then there's some that I won't see until I just count on it being the next business week. Then there's the load board based opportunities. There's load board based opportunities, then there's brokered opportunities and expediting opportunities. Some I will see the next business day. Some I will see the following week. That's when the money is deposited. Somehow, some way, that's what I have to figure out. So that means then I go into some days looking to do certain things. Now, really and truly, I'm looking to make whatever money I can. But when I know that I need to shore up the cash flow so that I can pay for gas or cover gas, yeah, I can use credit cards. And yeah, I do use my credit cards, but I've gotten much better with credit cards. I tend not to think about credit cards anymore. I'm thinking about cash and debit card. Cash and debit card, namely debit card. Every now and then I'll use the credit card, but I'm thinking cash and debit card because I don't want to deal with having to pay the money back. Even though I do, I am a responsible person. I pay the money, I pay it back, but you don't never know when other things are going to come up. And when other things come up, then all of a sudden, goddamn, this is pulling from here, this is pulling from there. And then you're basically having to double up on your money in order to stay where you are or try to put yourself in a position of getting ahead. So I hope I'm making sense with all this. Maybe, if anything, you can relate to what I'm talking about. All right, so what you see here is that pallet, that drum. That was my first delivery opportunity. So now I'm driving to the second pickup opportunity, which I understand is just going to be a very small parcel, 7 pounds a box, that a guy that I'll be meeting up, he'll hand it to me, and then I take it for the delivery. And that's going to be my day for the most part. Now, I've talked for about 10 minutes or so, and quite honestly, I've kind of talked around what I meant by the cash flow discussion. So I really want to hone in on some things so that maybe I'll feel better having honed in on these things to at least satisfy myself with sharing a discussion about cash flow. Cash flow, by definition, is really the money that comes in and out of your business. And what affects your cash flow is really the liquidity of money. The liquidity of money coming in, and mainly the liquidity of money coming in, which then affects your ability to handle what goes out. If you don't have any cash flowing in, then guess what? You can't take care of what needs to go out. All right? So that's where I spoke in terms of like what facets of my business operations help with the cash flow, or how cash flow is affected. Okay? There are some other terms that people talk about when it comes to cash flow. Cash reserves, cash on hand. And literally cash on hand is like stuff that can be converted to liquid assets. Something that is really in a tight, something that you can sell and get cash for it. But we're just talking about everyday stuff right now. We're just talking about everyday stuff, being able to handle everyday responsibilities and things. And then there's available funds, which means based on the money that you have, what is available to take care of things. Kind of like when you deposit money in a bank, it will tell you how much is deposited and how much is available, of funds available. And that's kind of what happened with me. I had funds available, but that money was tied up, or it was tied up, or it's been tied up the last couple of days. And so I've had to come up with, at least in my best efforts at generating some cash flow to be able to effectuate my ability to handle other things. With respect to reserve funds, we're talking about the good old-fashioned emergency funds, or backup funds, or as in everyday terms, savings, money that you put back. And what happened with me, that was money that was put back, but that money that was put back had to take care of some other things. And even that got tied up. So that's how I've been trying to explain myself. So then, with respect to my business operations, can I really plan certain opportunities really in advance? I mean, plan it in such a way, like draw it up on a chalkboard where it's going to happen this way. I will say the short answer is that it can happen if you know that you've got something done, you've got something on hand for the next day. But in delivery and transport, nothing's guaranteed. Your best drawn up plans can all cancel on you. That's with anything else. I gave an example one time about my being an insurance agent, where there was this big push on us showing proof of having appointments set up, and I worked to set up 17 appointments for the next week. And come Monday of that week, every last one of those appointments are canceled. Not by me, but by the people whom I set up the appointments with, the actual customers. So I often say that I don't know what I'm going to do the next day, or for that matter, every day. I really don't know what I'm going to do every day. Yes, there are times where I have brokered loads that are set up for the next day. Yes. Oftentimes, though, it's where I have a pickup one day and then a drop-off is the next day. Yes, there's a chance that I may have a last-mile gig delivery opportunity that's set up for the next day. But I kind of go about these things where I'll believe it when I see it. When I'm there and I got it in whichever vehicle that I'm utilizing, that's when I know I got something to work with. Gig food delivery opportunities, namely with catering opportunities, many of those come out the day before, so you kind of can plan towards it. You can kind of look towards it, but you don't really say that, okay, I got this money until within 2 hours of the pickup time. So that's the short. Can I then plan for? That's really the short answer. It can be done, but then again, it's oftentimes you just don't know until the day of. Cash game opportunities, you may agree to something, but you don't know until you're there. You just don't know. So what I have next again is a pickup of a small parcel that's supposedly 7 pounds. And what I will do then is, that's later this afternoon. I'm actually driving to that pickup location. Before I end this segment of the Gig Geezer, I do want to point out that I have scheduled for my upcoming live stream, I'm speaking. I'll be speaking with Ram Regan. He is a hustling entrepreneur of sorts from up north in the New York, New Jersey area. We're going to have a damn conversation and talk about making money. Bottom line is making money. And so hopefully I'll be seeing you in the chat room, or I'll be interacting with you in some form or fashion. And so with that, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment, the Gig Geezer, or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.